In this lesson, we're going to practice finding the missing angle. So what you have to do is really dissect the problem and take a look at what you've got. So the first thing I notice in this problem is that this angle here is 112 degrees, and it's vertical to this angle right here. And vertical angles are always congruent, so this angle must also be 112 degrees. The other thing I notice is the symbol right here. This angle has a line through it, and this angle has a line through it, which is telling you that those two angles are congruent. So if this angle over here is 112, then this angle over here must also be 112. So now we can use the same logic that this angle and this angle are vertical, so angle B must also be 112 degrees. So we can fill that one in. The next thing I notice is that if I want to find angle A makes a straight line with, oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to pick a different color. Angle A makes a straight line with angle B right here. So if I know angle B is 112, and it makes a straight line with a straight line is 180 degrees. So if this chunk is 112, 180 minus 112 will give me what's left over for angle A. So I'm going to do this problem, and I get 68. So angle A must be 68 degrees. And then as a final step, angle A is vertical to angle C. So if A is 68 degrees, then angle C must also be 68 degrees. So that's how you can figure those out. All right, let's take a look at number 2. So in number 2, they want us to find angle A right here. What I notice right away is the straight line. And if it's a straight line, it adds up to 180 degrees, which means 15-degree angle plus angle A plus the 38-degree angle must equal 180 degrees. So if we add the two angles that we know together, 15 and 38, we get 53 degrees. And so if we do 180 minus 53, that will tell us how many degrees are left over for angle A. So that means angle A must be 127 degrees. Look at some more examples. All right. In this one, there's a lot going on. One thing I notice right away is this 70-degree angle is vertical to angle D. And vertical angles are congruent, so that means angle D must be 70 degrees. Okay. The next thing I notice is that angle 40 is vertical to angle B. And vertical angles must be congruent, so this one must also be 40 degrees. Okay, so let's see, what can we do next? We need to find angle C and angle A. All right, so the next thing I notice is angle A. Let me pull out a different color. Angle A is vertical with this angle here that has the two lines through it. And this line also has two lines through it. So that means this has two lines through it. So basically, we know that those two angles are congruent. Okay? This is vertical here with two lines through it. So basically, we know that A and C must be the same, whatever they are. Okay? So the final thing that I'm going to do to figure this out is I notice this straight line right here. And remember, straight lines make 180 degrees. Okay, so if this is 70 and this is 40, then 70 and 40 together make 110 degrees. Which means that if we do 180 minus 110, we have 70 degrees left over. So this whole area is 70 degrees. And then as a final step, Since these two angles are equal to each other, then we would just have to divide 70 by 2, and that would tell us how big each angle is. So each of these must be 35 degrees. That was a tough one. All right, let's take a look at a couple more, okay? Oops, I noticed this came off, so let's just write this in. This should be angle A. Okay, so first of all, I noticed that 54 degrees is vertical with angle A, so angle A must also be 54 degrees. Okay, and let's see, what else do we notice in this picture? I notice that these two angles right here make a 180 degree angle. So if I do 180 minus 54 degrees, we have 126. So this angle here is 126 degrees. Okay. So let's see. So if that's 126 degrees, then I noticed that angle A is the same as angle C. And this is actually something we're going to go into more detail on in 8th grade. But those are called corresponding angles. Notice how they look like the same size. So if A is 54 degrees, then C is 54 degrees. Okay. And then C, if that's 54 degrees, that's vertical with angle B. So that's also 54 degrees. Okay, and then the last one we're going to look at here on this page is number 5. Okay, and to figure out number 5, first of all, I noticed this is a straight line. So together, this 54 degree angle and angle B make 180 degrees. So if we do 180 minus 54, that will tell us how many degrees are left over for angle B. So angle B is 126 degrees. Okay. Then this angle 54 looks the same as this angle here, so that's 54 degrees also. And they're telling you that this little chunk is the same as that, so that's 54 degrees. And the whole thing makes a straight line, which is 180 degrees. So if we add 54 plus 54, we get 108. And then if we do 180 minus 108, that will tell us how many are left over for this chunk right here, which is 72 degrees. All right. Taking a look at this one, they're asking us to find angle B. Well, in this one, we know that this is 209, this is 96, and we want to know B. And all together, they make a complete circle, which is 360 degrees. So if we take the two angles that we know, 209 and 96, and if we add those together, we get 305. So if we subtract 305, that will tell us how many degrees are left over for angle B. So angle B must be 55 degrees. All right, last example. We'll end with an easier one. This symbol means a 90-degree angle, so the whole thing is 90 degrees. If this is 63 degrees, then 90 minus 63 will tell us what is left over. So 27 degrees are left over for angle B. So those are some examples of how to find the missing angles.